So, today we're going to dive into a piece of software, and it has one and only one super specific goal: to actually change the way you breathe. Yeah, you heard that right. It's this really interesting mix of technology and personal wellness, and honestly, it totally caught my attention. So, let's just jump right in with a question that, I admit, sounds a little weird. Could your computer, the thing you're probably looking at right now, actually improve your breathing? I know, it feels like a bit of a stretch, right? Connecting our screens and keyboards with something so, well, so human. But that's exactly the idea we're going to unpack today. Okay, so the whole reason this app even exists is to focus on one single thing: nasal breathing. Let's dig into why that's the big goal here. And look, we're not talking about some complicated medical thing here. This is a really simple wellness practice. A lot of people are actively trying to make nasal breathing their default, for all those potential benefits, like better oxygen intake and filtering the air. And that's exactly where a little app like this fits in. It's just a tool to help you build that habit. So, what is this tool? It's called MeditOwl. And the best way to think about it is like a focused little digital nudge, just to keep you on the right path. Okay, so what is MeditOwl? It's a pretty straightforward Windows app that has one job, and one job only: to encourage you to breathe through your nose. And it does this by periodically checking on you through your PC's camera. And its method is super direct. No messing around. If the app spots you breathing through your mouth, a little pop-up just appears on your screen. It's not some annoying, flashy alarm. It's just a quiet, gentle reminder to bring your attention back to your breathing. All right, so how does this whole thing work in practice? Let's walk through it, from the moment you fire up the app to the second you get that little notification. The whole process is really, really simple. First up, the app just sits quietly in your Windows taskbar. You barely know it's there. Then, every so often, it uses your camera to check in. Step 3, the smart part: the software analyzes what it sees to detect if you're mouth breathing. And finally, if it does, you get that simple, dismissible pop-up. That's it. That's the whole loop. Okay, I know what you're thinking. The second anyone says an app uses your camera, alarm bells for privacy and control start ringing. And they should. So let's talk about how MeditOwl handles these really important issues. The good news is the app puts you in charge. You get a surprising amount of control. For example, you can tweak how sensitive the detection is. You can also change how often the app checks in with your camera. And, this is key, you can shut the whole thing down completely at any time right from the taskbar. You are always in the driver's seat. But let's not beat around the bush. Let's hit the big question head on: the camera. I mean, we live in a world where data privacy is a huge deal. So how can you possibly feel secure when an app is, literally watching you? So the developer is super, super clear on this. And this is probably the most important part. Yes, the app uses your camera to analyze your breathing in real time. But, and this is a big but, it does not save or transmit a single image. Not a single one. The analysis happens right there on your computer, and then poof, the data's gone. It's a totally closed loop that never leaves your machine. Okay, so we've got how it works and the privacy stuff covered. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty, the important fine print, the practical details and the official disclaimer. First, the practical stuff. Right now, it's Windows only. And the price? It's a one-time purchase of $15. Now listen up, because this is probably the single most important thing you need to hear about this app. The developer makes it crystal clear. This is a lifestyle support tool. It is not, and I repeat, not for medical use or for diagnosing anything. Let's just break that disclaimer down a bit more, because it's so important. First off, this is not a medical device. Simple as that. Second, just because you get an alert, that doesn't guarantee any health benefits. Third, and this is just good advice for life: if you've got real health concerns, please go see a medical professional. And last, the person who made the app isn't responsible for any problems that come from using it. Just got to be clear about that. So, if we boil it all down, what's the big takeaway? The crucial point is that MeditOwl is a simple, single-purpose tool. That's all it is. Its whole reason for being is to just be a gentle, persistent tap on the shoulder, a reminder to help you build a habit you've already decided you want to work on. It's not magic. It's just a reminder. And that really leaves us with a pretty fascinating question to think about, doesn't it? Can something as basic as a little digital pop-up, can that really be enough to create a lasting change in our habits? The ones that are buried deep in our subconscious? It's a really interesting thought to chew on.